Ako si Ricky Lee. Writer man tayo o hindi. Teacher, pare, doktor, call center agent, nakapag-aral o hindi, may bahay. Lahat tayo gumagamit ng mga kwento upang makuha ang gusto natin sa trabaho man o sa buhay natin. Samahan niyo po ako sa aking webinar talk sa November 15 at 3 p.m. upang mas mapag-usapan pa natin lahat ng mga paraan upang mas mabisa pa tayo makapagkwento.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Franz Garcia, and I will be your host for today's webinar. I am 21 years old, Mr. Philippines Pearl of the Orient since 2018, a fashion model, ambassador, and image model inclined in youth leadership, community service, and self-empowerment. Before we begin, if any of you have questions regarding the discussion, don't hesitate to send them to us by entering it in the comment section on whatever social media platform you are watching this on. And I'll be here to cater them for our guest speaker. Welcome to the live webinar series of ESME.PH, an e-learning marketplace for Filipino professionals where one can develop relevant and in-demand skills through master classes in different fields of learning. If you want to learn more about us, feel free to visit our page at www.esme.ph. For those who are watching on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn, feel free to share this link to the stream to the people who you think will be interested in today's webinar. This webinar is in partnership with the ASEAN Youth Organization, an ASEAN-approved non-profit organization that spreads awareness of ASEAN to over 200 million young people in Southeast Asia. This webinar is also brought to you by the Rotary Club of Alabang Madrigal Business Park. Our topic for today is about wholeness. As broad as it sounds, wholeness is a feeling that we should all relate to at this point of pandemic. Being content has become quite a challenge for the months that have passed. And at some point, we may have felt like everything is becoming a routine, a daily cycle that we became too familiar with. In this talk, we can learn how to cope with this kind of situation, especially in professional lives. Our guest for today is a wholeness advocate, author, and motivational speaker. He is a graduate of education and entrepreneurship and is the assistant chair of leadership in Education Academy and Development, Philippines. Throughout his career, he sees the idea of wholeness as a potent factor in achieving a balanced life for teachers and other professionals. And as a wholeness advocate, he makes sure to spread his knowledge and ideals to people who needs an extra push in their careers. Ladies and gentlemen, let us all welcome Dr. Dino Joey Cordova.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone.
Hello, good afternoon, sir. How are you po?
I'm doing good, and I'm just so excited to share to everybody, to those who are watching us live on Facebook, in YouTube, and other platforms, about wholeness, how we could be able to embrace wholeness as a human being, so that we could be able to live our lives in we could have a balanced life. I know that everybody is so
Yes, sir.
busy, but we still have so many things to achieve and to do. But I think with wholeness, we would be able to do that.
Thank you, sir.
All right, so let me start and share my presentation. So now when we're going to speak about wholeness, I'm going to explain later on the meaning of this. We are going to define and identify what wholeness really is. But I just would like to tell everybody that until a person would discover his purpose, his existence or life has no meaning. So it is like a house that is built without a solid framework. So no matter how much you reinforce it to have a strong and whole structure, it could not really stand against different kinds of weather. So it may perhaps stand still, maybe just for a little while, but sooner enough it will collapse to the ground. And life without purpose is a life that is being wasted. So I'd like to encourage everybody to really be able to discover your purpose in life. And the sooner we will be able to discover our purpose, the longer our years living on a purpose driven life, and the longer our time in doing relevant things for ourselves and even for our family, for others, and for the community that we serve. Now, maybe some of us here have not really discovered what our true purpose in life is. And I don't know if you have gone to the point in your life that you have done your best, you have exerted so much effort. In terms of your work, you have exerted so much energy, time, and effort. But at the end of the day, you think that something is still lacking. You think that something is not fulfilling. And it seems that even if you have done your best and you think it's not enough yet. So I think it has something to do with the real purpose that you have for yourself. Maybe we are doing things that are irrelevant to our destiny, to our purpose. And that's why I am encouraging everybody that we have to discover our purpose the soonest possible time so that we can live each day of our lives doing our purpose and we have living for our destiny. And at the end of the day, no matter how difficult our day was or our day is, we should be able to say to ourselves that, okay, I've done my purpose. I've done my goals. I've done everything that I need to do. And this is how I'm going to live my life. So things like that. It's not just about like complaining, I'm so tired. If I could just find another job, I have to do it. Or maybe we were not able to find our niche yet. And this is really a very common problem to almost all people, that as long as we were not able to find our niche, it would really sneak through us and it would really steer our maybe our work, our time, or even our energy. So as long as we could find our niche, what we are really truly purposed for as a person, how we are being made, then I think that's the time that we would be able to find satisfaction in everything that we do. Because for me, it's not just only about having so much money in order for us to be happy, to be satisfied with what we do, and to appreciate life. But even if we have less, but as long we're living for our purpose and we're doing our purpose in life, we would be able to appreciate every little thing that we do every day. It's because we were able to discover that that's really our purpose. I am destined to do that. So things like that, these are the things that we have to put in our mind, we have to put in our hearts, so that we would really be living a life that is so purposeful. So we are not wasting our time, we are not wasting our energy, and we are not wasting also our effort. Now, the frontline implementers, it would always be part of our vision also as a human being to deliver the wholeness. Now, most likely, if you could hear, schools are implementing holistic development. And I am sure that that's not a new thing to all of you. Now, the frontline implementers of this concept are the teachers and the learners are the recipient, but are to reciprocate. Now, there have been so many concepts and theories about wholeness of life, and there have been also conflicting ideas about it. And each individual differ also in thoughts on how to draw out wholeness. The idea of wholeness actually is really for everybody. And to be whole time and time again is for everyone. So, with this, the role of teachers at school can never be undermined and underrated if most schools would like really to aim for holistic development. So, with this time, I would like to tell everybody that you can play also a role being a teacher, because you need to do lots of teaching with yourself starting today. And I mean, like, the job of a teacher is not just only um, carried out inside the four corners of the classroom. But the job of a teacher should be in us. The job of a leader should be in us, even without being appointed as a leader in a particular thing. We should act like one. So I'm encouraging everybody to act like a teacher, because you need to do a lot of teaching with yourself. And I would like to highlight a thought that everyone can really be a teacher and be embracing a very important role in all forms. So whether you are a student right now, a banker, an engineer, a medical doctor, you always educate people around you. And for something that you do not know, maybe. And unconsciously, we are doing teaching jobs in our own way. So everyone in the society is the lead implementer of wholeness in life in general, and the supposed wholeness that the schools are ought to uphold and to flourish. Now, if you are a different professional today or professional right now, well, you will still be embracing teaching as part of your daily life. So I would like to ask you to give yourself a tap on your shoulder, as whatever roles you play in life right now, you are upholding a teaching profession in your own way. So you cannot really undermine your role and influence in your family, in your workplace, in your campus, and even in this country and in the whole world. Now, we as individuals need to have better understanding also on the basis of our true identity and and our purpose as a person. So, with this, let me ask you a question: what is wholeness? So, as I made mention earlier, that wholeness comes from different concepts and perspectives. And the subsequent discussions that we're going to have will delineate wholeness for better understanding. So, let me begin with this. According to Parker J. Palmer, wholeness does not mean perfection. It means embracing brokenness as an integral part of life. Now, that's a wonderful saying by Parker J. Palmer. So, wholeness is not about being a perfect person, being a perfect partner, being a perfect friend. But wholeness is about considering your brokenness inside as your force to be able to do things better the next day, and to set aside also your emotions, which I am going to talk about also later on, the emotions, because I think it is always good if we're going to begin with zero, with that thought, begin with zero every day. So if we're going to have that kind of thought, like whatever misunderstandings that we have with our friends, with our family today, so it means that tomorrow should be a different story, because you need to begin your day starting from zero. So it seems that you won't it seems that yesterday is a different day, so that you will not be holding back your emotions, you will not be holding back the best that you can do for that particular day, and you won't allow all of these things to affect your decision makings, to affect your actions, to affect your words. So it's really very important to deal with your emotions immediately, and that's part of being a person who is trying to embrace wholeness time and time again. Like what I've said, I'm not talking about perfection. I myself is not a perfect human being. But the fact that knowing that I have to stand up every time I fall, the fact also that knowing it's really very important for me to deal whatever that I need to deal, especially with my emotions. If I'm anger, if I hate somebody, if I hate something, I have to deal with it I have to deal with it immediately, so that I would be able to do things accordingly. So, according also to Fletcher in 2009, he defines wholeness from the biblical context, and he said that wholeness might mean being well in spirit, mind, and body. Now, we are referring to the three major aspects of man's being: his spirit, mind, and body. And we are not beings of separate and distinctively different components, but a whole person. So we are a spirit who has a soul that lives in a body, and all of these aspects of man are inextricably interwoven. So to be whole, to be complete, each aspect of a person must really be well. So each aspect of this, mind, body, and soul, must really be well. So when any aspect of our being is not well, then the other aspects are adversely affected. So considering how wholeness was defined from different perspectives, our approach towards understanding the concept is that wholeness has something to do with our identity and purpose. Now, words that comprise wholeness involve entirety and modified, or it could mean also completeness, unbroken. It could mean also unhurt. So I think if we're going to look at those words, maybe it's really hard or even impossible to be whole, as how you may think right now. But there have been several instances in our lives that we were broken, we were hurt, we were in such a deep pain. We had a dark or even a painful past that affect our wholeness or even our approach to becoming whole. And sometimes we felt so incomplete, and maybe until now, some of you have carried these emotional baggages wherein those undesirable and unfavorable circumstances, as I made mention earlier, are given more attention and focus than on how you can move on from incompleteness to being whole. Or, that I just would like to encourage everybody that, bad circumstances that happened in the past do not actually own you. And therefore, you should not hinder, or these bad circumstances should not hinder you from embracing the wholeness of life at present and even having a bright and wonderful future. Now, considering to the wholeness of our mind, body, and soul, this three is very encompassing, which embraces several aspects in life, wherein the detailed discussion for this can be, found in our presentation later on. But for now, let us pause and we are going to reflect before proceeding to the very details of wholeness of our identity and purpose that would make us a whole person inside and out. So let me share to you these words of B.R. Ambedkar. Unlike a drop of water which loses its identity when it joins the ocean, man does not lose his being in the society in which he lives, and man's life is independent. He is born not for the development of the society alone, but for the development of himself. Just imagine these words that we are ought to develop ourselves time and time again. So it means to say that we are not supposed to stop whenever we are facing bad circumstances, just like, for example, this pandemic that we are experiencing in, this COVID-19, it is not supposed to dictate our actions. It is not supposed to dictate our thinking, our decisions in life. Our life should not supposed to stop just because of this, but we have to keep on going on. So I'm really very glad in the presence or in the midst of this pandemic, though it's really bad in nature, but there is something that I am also thankful for this. I get to learn the things that I thought before that I cannot do. And then, like what I've said earlier, we need to keep on going on. So I need to push myself and try to explore so many things that maybe I could do. And so I tested myself, I challenged myself, and I found out that there are so many things that I have not done before, which I could do right now. So always remember this one, that in the midst of negativities around us, it's a matter of making a decision how you can turn the negative things around you to be positive. It's just about making choices. Life is full of choices, but you can choose to be happy despite of the many problems that you have. And I said these problems, these circumstances, whatever negativities that you are experiencing, maybe in a relationship, relational issues with your family, with your boyfriend or with your girlfriend, with bad circumstances in the past, all of these things really do not own you. And so this thing should not affect your way of thinking and should not affect your way of life because you have a bright future ahead of you. You have such a wonderful destiny ahead of you. And if you will focus and if you will use up all your energy, your mind, your effort, and even your time to deal on with these issues that you have, unsettled issues, all the more that you will lose time to appreciate the future that you have, the bright future that you have for yourself. Or maybe you would even fail to see that you have won. It's because you consume a lot of your time and energy to think of maybe I'm not enough for him or for her. That's why he left me. So I think maybe that person is not just the right one for you. And maybe the right person that is for you is just waiting for you in the future. So can you see that if you are going to have, or I mean, like if you're going to stake at a particular time of your life just into this, you focus on this, then you will have then you will lose lots of chances or choices that you could make, because again, being happy is a choice. Being contented despite of not having the same amount of money as your friends, you can still choose to be happy. So it's about making choices. So I'm going to share to you 3 reflection questions. Maybe you could take a screenshot. Maybe you could take a screenshot for this. So maybe after my talk, you are going to share something about this one, or maybe before you're going to sleep tonight, you're going to ask yourself as to what degree are you right now? Or are you whole in your spirit, in your mind, and in your body? Or maybe if there's anything in your past that affects your wholeness right now, what is it? What is it that I need to deal? What is it that I need to address? What issues in my life that I need to address in order for me to move to the next chapter, to move to the next level in my life? What issues in my mind that I need to settle? So these are the things that you need to work on to begin asking yourself and to begin also dealing all of these things one by one. And then the third question, do you commit yourself to becoming whole again despite of your bad and dark circumstances that happened in the past? Again, let me encourage you that your dark circumstances or bad things that happened in the past or yesterday, they do not own you. You have a bright future. You just have to make the right choices or the right decisions. Now, we need to uphold also the wholeness of our identity. So now that we have slowly unleashed our role or purpose and we are already redirecting our thoughts towards wholeness, now we are going to check also our identity as to where it is being grounded and to what really our true identity is. Now, our inward identity dictates our outward lifestyle and culture. Now, our thoughts dictate our actions, and we act based on our nature. Now, it simply means that a bird flies because it's a bird. So, this principle of how nature dictates actions and how identity dictates lifestyle should be our guide on how we are going to live our lives. Now, it should not be our circumstance or other people should dictate on what should be your identity, because we have to know our identity and we have to live our purpose, that is to be our whole person. So our identity is supposed to be whole. We know ourselves truly well, and we know also who created us, so that we can live also for the destiny that He has prepared for us. Now, our wholeness, it actually all starts with God. It is not really about us. Now, according to Rick Warren in 2002, the purpose of your life is far greater than your own personal fulfillment, your peace of mind, or even your happiness. It is far greater than your family, your career, or even your wildest dreams and ambitions. And if you want to know why you were placed on this planet, you must begin with your Creator. Now, you were born by His purpose and for His purpose. God created you uniquely and purposefully. Now, I find this verse really very inspiring. So let me just read this to you in Psalm 139, 13 to 14. For you created my inmost being. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful, and I know that full well. Now, He designed us to have contentment in life through His will. So, the more we are drawn closer to Him, the more we discover our identity. And therefore, we should not lose our sight on who we truly are and how we are being created and how we are being destined. Just imagine that. If you will be allowing the people around you to experiment on you, to explore on you, and to to dictate your actions, if you would allow all these people to who are telling you that you're ugly because you just have different physical features compared to them. Now just imagine if you are allowing all of these things to ruin your future. Always remember that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. Whatever that you have right now, it is being made for such a purpose. Maybe you do not know yet right now, but you can know it. Why you have that? You can know it as you begin to discover your purpose. And how are you going to do that? You always have to go back to the one who created you. Because, in the family, it might be someone else instead of you. Why you are here on earth? Do you really know why you are being brought alive into this world? Well, in fact, it could be someone else and not you. And as you begin to walk or as you begin to journey with your Creator, you would slowly discover also how you are being purposely made and created and what is His destiny for you. So I cannot say what is your destiny. Books cannot tell you what could be your destiny. Your teacher cannot tell you that you are destined for something else. But one thing is for sure, you are destined for something better than what you think of right now. So if you have struggles, if you're struggling with your physical appearance, you're struggling with your workmates or your classmates because they've been telling you that you look different from us. If you have been experiencing like bullying because you are totally different from the others, just maybe because they don't appreciate for who you are. And you need to appreciate yourself first before you could appreciate others. This is always the case. We cannot give to others what we don't have. In fact, you cannot give love, so much love to your boyfriend or to your girlfriend when you have less love for yourself. You cannot even give full respect to others if you have less respect for yourself. So it all begins in you right now and also with the one who created you. So the wholeness of a person comes with a balanced life. Now, the quality life of a person is the vehicle to effective living, and so also with dealing others. So we need to find balance in our life before we get burned out. Because most others would say like, oh, my mental health is not really good. I have been affected with what others are saying. Yeah, you would be able to develop anxiety and depression and things like that. But always go back to this. The wholeness of a person comes with a balanced life. And we need to find balance. And we need to work on the different life aspects that we need to find balance with so that we can live the fullness and the wholeness of life. Now, I'm going to show you, as I'm going to discuss different life aspects, I'm going to show you pictures because I do believe that a picture is worth 1,000 words. So for the first one, this is the first aspect in life that we need to work on too. So the first one is our spirituality. Now we were taught to put God first in and everything else will just follow. Now our identity is established in Him as He is the one who created us. Now the grace of God is so powerful that even in the midst of our mistakes, your mistakes, His grace never changes. And His grace is always abundant, it is never lacking, and it never runs dry. God has destined us to have a life at the fullness of Christ, and we are redeemed. So from the very start that we are His, because He created us, We are not owned by our uncertainties. We are not owned by our sins. We are not owned by our anger and our hatred. We are not even owned by poverty, rejection, sickness. All of these things, they do not own us because we are redeemed. And he is the Lord over our struggles as a person. He is the Lord over our bleeding finances, our family problems, or whatever that you could name of. So putting God first, despite of differences in religious affiliations, we can still live at His fullness. Our religiosity does not even save us. It is our faith. So in as much as we take care also other aspects in life, we have to take care also of our spirituality. Maybe our spiritual life is malnourished, while the other aspects is supernourished. All right. So the next aspect in life is our physicality. Now we only have one health that keeps us going, so it is always best to take good care of it. So maybe other than the household chores that we have, we need to spend time for maybe exercise, and maybe you could start to discover also some hobbies that give you so much enjoyment and contentment as you do this thing, so that you will not feel burdened sweat out you to sweat out. Maybe gym is not always a solution, to exercise, but you have so many places at home that you could explore. You have maybe your garden, your backyard, or your front yard. And I think it's a good way to start your day also with stretching, as this would improve also circulation. Now, other than the spiritual aspect, we need to work on also our physical aspect. And so we don't have to abuse our body with so many things that this world could offer. It's because once our body will give up, I don't know where you could borrow another body in order for you to go on and to fulfill the dreams that you have for yourself and for your family. So you need to, in as much as possible, you need to enjoy a peaceful rest at night. And there have been so many theories also about good effects of sleep. And the sleep scientists have recently come up also new theory that sleep reactivates the neurons set off during the daytime. And it strengthens also, or sleep strengthens also neuronal connections and improves memory. So if you want to wake the next day with a good and positive mood, you have to maintain good sleeping habits. So I guess everybody knows how many hours do you need to sleep in a day. And if you are getting like 8 hours, well, good for you. But if you're not getting 8 hours, and then that's the time that you have to work on with your sleep so that you can improve your physicality, and you could improve that aspect of yours, and so with other aspects in your life. Now the third one, now emotions. I think we have lots of issues with this. Now our emotions need to be balanced as well. We cannot get too emotional on things, or else we will not grow as a person. Now emotions should be accompanied with sound mind, that we might not be able to decide and see things objectively. So we need really to express it to others as well, like love, affirmation. This is something that or we could give to others more than ourselves. Now, dealing with our emotions is an exercise for our heart and a test of our character. So it is an everyday process. When we feel positive, let it flow, that others might be able to feel it too. And when there is negative emotions or feelings such as anger, hatred, or misunderstanding that I've been talking earlier, you have to deal and settle with it immediately, as tomorrow is another day. Now, dealing with your emotions is the same as learning or unlearning the bad practices that you have in your life. So the next aspect that we need to work on to find balance with our life is sociability. Now we are always being reminded that we are social beings. We need to socialize with our family first and then with others. And I would just like to encourage everyone that when we're going to speak of socialization, this has nothing to do with our friends only. So we should not limit our minds that when we're going to talk about socialization, it always involves our friends. No, no. The members of the family are our immediate friends and accountability partners. So socialization always begins at home. Now, when we share our problems with others to lighten up our burden, we need to discuss it first with our family. Nobody else could understand us better than with our maybe parents, partner, or our kids. Now, maybe if you have relational issues with your parents, so that's why you cannot open up things with them, you have to settle with it. You need to sit down with them and be honest with them how you feel. And to try to tell them that you're going to tell them something, you're going to tell them an issue that you need to settle with it because you don't want to bring this emotional baggages of yours when you get older or in your next stage or in the next chapter of your life. You just have to settle it right here and then. So maybe you can just open it up to your family. I mean, like honesty is the key. Now I'm sure that most of us have been really growing up that we have more confidence as we share our secrets to our friends, to our classmates, to our barcadas, and and this is always the case. It's our family that would be the last person to know whenever we have problems. Now I'm sure we can change that kind of mindset and that kind of practice. So I think the issue there why we cannot open things with our family is that maybe we have relational issues with them. So we just need to sit down and talk about it and then try to release your forgiveness to each other. Now, I don't know what you have gone through, but if you consider also your friends as your immediate family, well, you can always talk to them. You can always iron out things. And always, always remember this that as you meet also with your friends, you have to make sure that your friends are the ones who do not gossip because speaking ill to someone during social gatherings or maybe just simple meetups is totally a waste of time. And when we meet with our friends, the best thing that we could do is to encourage and inspire each other, and we could learn and share new things together, and even most importantly to pray for each other because we need that, especially in our time right now. So the next aspect in life that we need to work on is our finances. I mean, like everybody loves to have this kind of wallet. Me too. I want to have a full wallet with this one, just like this one. So by the way, this topic is taboo for some families, and they do not talk about money with with any members of their family. But of course, money is good. It is not evil. We use it to transact every day. But the love of money is the root of all evil, to the point of doing dishonest things just to get enough with it. So it is very important for every family to discuss the financial status, the spending trends and plans, the amount that is coming in and out, so that you could be able to work on this. Now, it's time also for you to, put up something for your savings and for your investments. Now, there are so many seminars that you could attend to about financial literacy, and I think that's really very important, especially with our younger generation, with the youth. It's better if you could start to have the right knowledge on what to do with your money because there are so many things that you could explore on. So it's not just about buying the latest gadgets that you have so that you have something to show off with your friends. These things do not really matter or do not really matter so much in the eyes of others, but only to few people. So we don't need to put on a show to others what we have. It's because they could still say something about it. They could still say something bad about you. So we don't have to live our lives trying to please them by showing off what we have, by not using our money in a rightful way, but just investing on things that can, put on a good show to others. It's not a good thing. And the next aspect in life that we need to work on is of course, our work, our career. So whatever that you are doing right now, whether it's a business or maybe if you are still a student, that might be your career for now, or That is something that, you know, you work for now. But always remember this one, that we are blessed with a work to do. So we have to acknowledge the ultimate source of every blessing that we have, including our work, because He wants us to serve Him with it. Now, if we're going to serve the Lord at work, simply gives dignity to what we do. And honoring God in our work is putting also our whole heart into it. So whether someone is watching you or no one, you have to do your work with all honesty, integrity, and dignity. And you need to work also heartily. So to work heartily, it means to work with diligence, cheerfulness, and gratefulness. And it could also mean to work from within or from our soul, so that whatever we do it genuinely and with the attitude that is coming from our character. So we do not work just to make a good impression on others or to put on a show, especially when our immediate supervisors or our boss are there, but we work because we want to honor God in our workplace, because He is the one who is blessing you also with that kind of work or with what you have right now. So the next life aspect that we need to work on in order for us to find balance, in order for us to embrace wholeness, is family. Now we work because we need to provide for ourselves and our family. Though family is the very reason why we work, I think family and work should not be mixed up. And when it is time for family, it should be theirs, and no extra or unfinished work should be brought at home, or which could somehow cut short of the supposed quality time that you need to have for every member of the family. Now, if you are a young person right now, you have to spend quality time with your siblings or with your parents. Now, let me ask you this: when was the last time that you laugh out so loud together as a family? Or when was the last time that you all hugged together as a family? When was the last time that you traveled all together? Now, always remember this one. We are given 24 hours in a day, and we spend 6 to 8 hours already for sleeping, 8 hours for work or for school, 2 to 3 hours for travel to work, and back for those living in the metro. And what is left is just barely 4 to 6 hours. Now, everyone can maximize time for family during weekdays. We can cut our workloads to be brought at home, or at the very least, for weekends, we could set mini weekend vacation. And actually, this pandemic is like a reset button for everyone. Now, like what I've shared earlier, that I have so many things also to be grateful out from this negative effect of pandemic. It's because I could get to spend more time with my family. So just like last year, I keep on traveling. So for work related, so there would be times that I would just have to unpack my, luggage and then put on another thing and then have to leave again. So with this pandemic, I think it is something that I have to be thankful for. It's because I was able to really spend time and to see my kids growing, and to keep on discovering each other. Because as long as we have this lifetime to live, we can keep on discovering ourselves and everyone in the family. And we would be able to say, aha, I have so many things to explore. I have so many things to explore as a person. I mean, like, we should not stop. Like, you're 18 and you can only explore up to this. Well, you have so many things to explore in life. But let me just encourage you that if you are a if you're young ones, you need to have the guidance of the old ones in your family, so that they can properly guide you with the things around you as you begin to explore also the things that you could do, your skills and other things that you can discover for yourself, talents that you can discover. So having quality life is always a choice. Now, we could choose to live in a balanced life than to live in a vicious cycle of an imbalanced life. And we could still find balance from work to our career and to the rest of the aspects of our lives. It's not too early nor so late to find balance in our lives. Today is always a perfect timing. Now, according to Eric Butterworth, a true desire is not to have, but to be. We are whole creatures in potential, and the true purpose of desire is to unfold that wholeness is to become what we can be. And the wholeness of a person comes with knowing your true identity of who you really are, how you were being created. Always remember that one, that you are wonderfully and fearfully created. And you need to live a balanced life also, and to find and to discover your purpose, so that in everything that you're going to do every day, you will not be doing irrelevant things. What you are doing in your work, or maybe in your studies, or what you are doing also with your family, it will always lead you to doing the things that are helping you to achieve your goals in life, that are pointing you to your own purpose. Now, let me encourage you as I end with this, my personal story. Like what I've said earlier, that wholeness is not about perfection, but it is about embracing your brokenness. It's just a matter of accepting what are your weak points in life. And that when you know that, you can start to work on it and try to seek, the help of people around you, the right people. I mean, the right people around you, because there are just people around us who might be ruining more our lives. So you have to seek guidance to those whom you know that can really properly guide you all throughout. Now, we don't have to deal with or to stay in, to romanticize the bad circumstances that we have in our life. Like what I've said earlier, that it's a matter of, choosing to be happy despite of the problems that you have. 3 years ago, my son died. Yes, my son died 3 years ago, and barely 2 months, my father also followed, and he died. So I have two deaths in just a short period of time in the same year. And I was really so broken down, because during that time when my son died, my wife also was, having a battle of her life. She was 50-50. She was battling also for her life during that time. And it was so painful. And I even asked God, like, Lord, why are you allowing this to happen in us as a family? I cannot bear all of this. My mental health was maybe not good at that time. And I was really crying so hard. How did it happen? We were so excited because that's our second child. We were so excited about it because we've been waiting for it like for 7 or 8 years. And then here comes the child, but he died so soon. We were not able to enjoy him. But during that time, when I began to search like the true purpose why it was being allowed, to happen in us. And I just need to find answers also from my creator. Like, Lord, why you allow this? And so I just scrolled down the Bible app in my phone, because I went down to my car at 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. in the morning. I was just bursting out to tears because of what I felt, and even my friends told us that, we will understand you if you will lose your faith, because we too cannot deal with that emotion if it would happen to us. But there's just these powerful words that came into me, and I was so inspired. Your sorrow will turn into joy. So now this has been a reminder for me that whatever we are feeling right now, maybe it's so painful, that it's so excruciating, and we cannot almost get out of it. And we feel like, it's better to die than to deal with these very hard feelings. That sorrow will not be forever. There's a time limit for that. You just need to know for who you are and how you were being created. You need to embrace wholeness, that despite of the pain that you have, there are still so many aspects in your life that you need to be grateful for. And I mean, like, you are in pain, that's normal. You are grieving for the death of your loved ones, that's normal. But you need to see also other aspects in life that you have to be grateful for. and that will help you in the healing process. And I'm sure that maybe some of you here right now maybe have relational issues, and it's really giving you so much pain even until now. The past that you have keeps on reminding you even until today. You are wrong. You are really wrong with your decision. You know, don't allow these bad circumstances to control over your mind and your heart, because all those things that happened in the past, and no one is perfect here, not even myself, we all have bad experiences in the past, and we should not romanticize or take good care of that. Why? It's because we have so much to be grateful for. Today we have so many things to be grateful for, and even tomorrow. And let us not make you, or let us not allow our past, our bad circumstances, to control or to dictate our minds. Let us embrace wholeness, because there is so much, or there are so many aspects in life that we need to work on. And with that, if we would be able to know who we truly are and how we are being purposed, we would appreciate still that life is so beautiful despite of all the pain. So I hope that every one of you today would be able to embrace wholeness as it is. I know that we need to work on so many things in the different aspects of our lives, but we have a lifetime to work on it. We don't have like a deadline just to do it today or maybe next week, but it's an everyday thing that we need to embrace wholeness. Time and time again we might be broken because of wrong decisions, but time and time again we need to stand up and to embrace wholeness one more time, so that we would be able to live to the fullness of life, because we are all destined to live with the fullness of life. It's so beautiful. So thank you very much. I would like to thank also everyone for listening to me, for ESME, and for the Rotary Club of Alabang, Madrigal Business Park, for this opportunity to inspire our younger generation and to everyone watching us. Thank you.
Thank you so much for inspiring us, sir, and for your wise words. We will now proceed to the question and answer proper. For our first question, Sir Dino, how can wholeness be beneficial for individuals in the long run?
So in the long run, well, if we will start to embrace wholeness right now, in the long run, no matter how maybe how many problems that you have, you could always say that this is just happening right now. It's not going to be forever. So if you would try to embrace wholeness right now and try to have a different mindset, you would be able to appreciate that despite of the problems that you have, it will not be forever. You would be able to appreciate life still. Now, if you would say, it's too hard, it's too painful, but you know that pain will be gone soon. It's just a matter of making choices.
Yes, that is right, sir. For our second question, sir, many of us get into work for just the sake of making progress and income. At what point
Uh,
in our
okay,
life,
can you say that again? I'm sorry. For the
many of
second question.
us, yes, sir, for our
Okay.
second question, sir, many of us get into work just for the sake of making progress and income. At what point in your life did you realize that wholeness is an essential factor in one's professional life?
Right. So, working on to have income is not bad. I mean, like, it's good. Nobody wants to have no income, right? But
Yes, sir.
again, that should not be our only focus, because I think there have been so many families that have been affected because like the husband or the wife are just so focused on earning something, but then they have disregarded their children, and even as they spend time with their children, it has been taken off. It's because they are so much focused in earning, because I think the reason is good also, like they need to provide for their family, right? But I think that there should be a limit for everything. Too much of everything is really not good. Like too much time to spend for work or too much focus just for the income. Sometimes it might even make you become a greedy person. You don't give your time to rest, but rest is really very important. So you will just have to, I need to work, I need to work because I need to pay for this, I need to buy this and that. But we need to give ourselves also to recharge, to rest, and gaining so much money or having a good and stable income, it will not also define your whole life as it is. But I mean, like, it's good. Okay, I'm not refuting that it's good. It's one of our goals, right? But we need to work on also some other aspects. We have to focus also on developing other aspects of our lives, not just on that side, on that aspect. We're in something that gives us money.
Thank you so much, sir. For our third question, sir, how can we promote wholeness to people during this time of pandemic when many people are trying so hard to make end meets while also focusing on their personal lives?
All right. So I know that there are so many people right now who have even lose their jobs, right?
Yes,
I
sir.
I myself too have, my income has been affected also. Most of the businesses also, their income has been affected. So everybody does. No
Yes.
one is exempted, right? But having that kind of mindset that, okay, 2020 is this one, so I just need to spend time to explore other things, to explore or to keep on discovering something for myself. Because it is something that is out of our control already, this pandemic. No matter how much we fight against the government, how much we fight against each other, how much we express our opinions about COVID-19, but this is beyond our control. So it's just a matter of making a decision or making choices how we could explore other things in order for us to equalize the situation, the negativities around us. So just like, for example, this haircut that I have right now, I just did it by myself. And I just discovered it during the time of pandemic that I can even do it by myself because I'm forced to do it. I'm afraid to go out and I'm forced to do it. So I was able to discover one new skill for me. And so it's just a matter of, making mindsets and decisions.
So, sir, to promote wholeness, we need to accept what is happening right now, what is reality, and
Yes,
we need to reinvent ourselves indeed.
right.
So, for our fourth question, sir, how can it be easier for individuals to live alone to attain wholeness in their professional lives as compared to those who live under the same roof with their families?
All right. So this is the idea. I know if you're familiar with the line in the movie, "You complete me," something like that. So sometimes you are spending your time with the person because you need to have, others at your back. You have others. You need to have others at your back in order for you to become stronger. But I tell you, not even your spouse could even, satisfy with what you need to be satisfied of. Not even your family members or what. But there's only one person who can fill the void in your heart. It's the one who created you, it's God. So even if you're not living under the roof of your family, but you have God at your back, you have God, to go to and to run to whenever you have problems. And like what I've said in my talk earlier, that our wholeness, it all begins with our Creator. Like what I've said, you have been created purposefully. So instead of you, it could be someone else. And there's really a very reason why you are here, why you are born in this world. And so you need to spend time with Him. If you are not with your family, living with your family, if you're alone, no, you're not alone. You are not alone in your struggles. You are not alone in your, dealing with your emotions. No, you are not alone in your problems. What makes you alone is that you keep on thinking that you're alone. You have your Creator You have someone has created you, and that person will fight for you for the rest of your life.
Thank you so much, sir. For our last question, sir, in relation to the previous question,
Mm.
4.6 million Filipinos have lost their job during the pandemic, according to CNN Philippines, which lead them to struggle in looking for work and earn money. With this, is wholeness for everyone, or is it only attainable for the people who have free time in their hands?
Who have free time in their hands or who have money in their hands, like what I've said, it's not a guarantee for you to have wholeness. What guarantees you to have a whole life is that you live for your purpose. If you lose your job, maybe there is something that you need to find out that you could work on in order for that negative thing in your life to become positive. I know so many stories about people right now who have lost their jobs. My friends did also, and in fact it opened lots of opportunities for them as well to explore and to not to be so what's this so constricted with the things that they could do. So for example, I know of a couple who lose their job, both of them. It really affects their finances, and so what they did is they just pray. They asked for guidance, they asked for wisdom, and so they begin to realize that maybe it's high time for them to do business. And so they started up with their very low or minimal capital, and then it works on. So you see, I mean, like if windows are closing for you, or if there's one door that is closing for you, you have to realize that there might be so many doors that will be opened for you. So you just have to pick things that are happening in you right now. It's either kasalanan mo kasi ginawa mo yun. It's you have made a wrong decision, or things that are happening you right now would allow you to enter into so many doors of opportunities. So like what I've said, so many people lose their jobs. I think it's about time for them also to work on. Maybe they lose their job, so they are forced to stay at home, and so they have to work on or to fill those gaps that they have with their family. So just working on the different life aspects one by one, slowly and gradually, until you begin to appreciate that even if you lose your job, you still have some things to explore, and maybe tomorrow is a different story already.
Thank you so much, sir. Indeed, wholeness is about perfection. It's not about perfection, but it is about embracing brokenness as integral part of growth and to become better. To become whole is to uphold identity, live your purpose, and a balanced life indeed. So for everyone who attended this webinar, all of you will get a digital certificate of your attendance. Just visit our website at www.esme.ph or click on the link that we have posted in the comment section below. Once again, sir, thank you, Sir Dino Joey Cordova, for sharing your insight about wholeness, sir. If you have anything to promote, sir, you are free to do so.
Yeah, I just would like to thank also ESME for this opportunity, for giving me this platform to teach everyone about wholeness, and all the partner agencies of ESME. And I just would like to thank also everybody for listening. And in order for you to embrace wholeness, you can always connect with me on my Instagram, LinkedIn, or Facebook. So my name is consistent all throughout in my different social media accounts. So you can actually ask me anything about it, then I can slowly reply into it, because that's what I am promoting about wholeness, and I'm trying to help also everybody to be able to really embrace wholeness despite of the so many imperfections that we have as a person.
Thank you so much, sir. So, in behalf of ASEAN Youth Organization, thank you so much again, sir. And for those who want to join the ASEAN Youth Organization Philippines, you are free to message us on Facebook at our official page, ASEAN Youth Organization-Philippines. And before we end this webinar, I would like to invite everyone who wants to learn more and increase their knowledge and skills. Just visit our website at www.esme.ph. We offer a wide range of masterclass courses, those of which you can enroll in based on whatever is relevant to your passion, career, or interest. Thank you so much, everyone, and God bless you all.